Hi, this is Joanne Cooper. I'm a singer-songwriter from Johannesburg, South Africa, and this is Musicality Now.
This is Pathways, where we share the stories of real music learners just like you, who are each on their own path of developing their musicality and discovering their true potential as musicians.
Hi, my name's Christopher. I'm the founder and director of Musical U, and welcome to Musicality Now. Today I'm joined by Joanne Cooper, a long-standing member of Musical U, who has particular expertise in a piece of software called Band in a Box, and actually produced a fantastic tutorial video on using Band in a Box to create backing tracks for yourself for us as a guest post here at Musical U. Her own musical journey is an inspiring one, and so I've been eager to invite her onto the show in our Pathways series to share some of the lessons she learned along the way. In this conversation, Joanne shares the life-changing impact that the software Band in a Box had, helping her with both songwriting and musical performance. How she used backing tracks to help her get out there and perform, and was gradually then able to transition to accompanying herself instead. And the simple and specific songwriting process you can try out if you're just starting out to get from zero to lyrics, melody, and harmony. If you've never tried songwriting, or you're nervous performing, or you've never come across this Band in a Box software, I know this is going to be an enlightening and inspiring episode for you. As always, if you have insights, lessons, or tips from your own musical journey so far which you'd like to share, please drop us an email to pathways@musicalitynow.com. We would love to have you on the show. And if you enjoy this episode, please be sure to check out Joanne's website. We'll have a link to that in the show notes, and drop her a line to say thanks for sharing her story. My name is Christopher Sutton, and this is Musicality Now from Musical U. Welcome to the show, Joanne. Thank you for joining us today.
Thanks so much, Christopher. I'm really looking forward to this interview.
So I've had the chance to get to know you a little bit. We've spoken a couple of times before, and you're a member of Musical U, but I only know a little bit about your backstory. So I'd love if we could start out there. And I know you got started with music early in your early teens. Is that right?
Yeah, at about 13 was when I first started playing the guitar, although I loved to sing way before that. And I kind of harbored some secret desires to be in one of those shows, those musical shows. But I came from a very unmusical family, so I had no idea how to go about doing that or anything. And at 13, I persuaded my mum to buy me a guitar, and mainly because all my friends were learning to play the guitar. And she bought me a guitar, which was very surprising because I didn't usually get what I wanted, what I asked for. And she went ahead and bought me that guitar. And I was brought up in Zimbabwe, so she had traveled down from Zimbabwe to South Africa and had bought me a Washburn nylon string guitar, and had smuggled it back through the border on her back. And we all thought it was terribly funny because, my mom was acting like she was a hippie, but actually she was probably a lot younger than I am now. So it really was quite funny. But I started playing the guitar and have played all my life. But giving away my age, I obviously started playing long before there was any internet or any way of learning songs. So I went and I bought myself a John Denver play-along book, and one of those song books that you used to buy with all the chords and the lyrics and everything in it. And I learned all those songs. And then just really started playing by ear, because that was the only way to learn. I wasn't going to lessons or anything. And I used to, hear a song that I would like to be able to play, and I would just listen to it and write out the lyrics by hand, and then switch the record off and then just try and work out the chords and sing along, doing my own thing. So I never really worried that much about sounding like the recording, because I ended up, everything was A, D, and E. And I couldn't really understand why, everything that I ended up working out was an A, D, and E. And it's only been in the last few years that, I've discovered that that's the 1, 4, and 5 in my key, my favorite key of A. So, played guitar growing up, played at people's weddings and round the campfire. And then joined up with a friend of mine called Karen in about 1998, and had a little band called Alice Band, which we thought was very cute. And we used to go around all the pubs and, play with backing tracks. And then she left in 2000 and never really came back to South Africa. So I kind of hung up my guitar for quite a few years. I got married and had kids. And then in about 2014, I took up singing lessons. And that revived my interest again in making music. And then shortly after, no, sorry, it was about 2010 actually that I started the singing lessons. And shortly after that, I discovered Band in a Box on the internet. And I bought the tool and downloaded it and immediately started writing songs and recording songs, and have been very, very active with Band in a Box. Since then, I've written hundreds of songs and recorded hundreds of songs, covers and originals, and became a reseller of Band in a Box last year. So I've got a little online business around Band in a Box. Did a course. I did a video for you guys. I made a video that's done very well actually on YouTube on how to use Band in a Box, making backing tracks and recording a song, and wrote an ebook. So I've got a small online business doing that. And then in about 2014, I started making these play-along videos because I was gigging on my own with backtracks. And I decided that if I could make karaoke type videos with the chords and lyrics, then I wouldn't need to take along a songbook with the chords and lyrics written out. So I made these karaoke videos for my own repertoire. And, it's basically a foolproof way of being able to perform. You're not going to make any mistakes with chords and lyrics and whatever. You're not going to, forget what they are. And I'm notoriously bad with chords and lyrics. And then I decided, I wondered if other people would be interested in these videos. So I put them on YouTube. And it's been absolutely phenomenal. My YouTube channel has taken off with these play-along videos. People absolutely love them. And what I do is I just take popular songs and I make these karaoke type videos. So that's a big part of my business now, major part of my income on my online business. Yeah, and that's where I am now. I'm doing a lot of live performing now. So I've kind of dropped my backtracks now. I don't generally perform with backtracks anymore. My guitar playing has improved enough that I can perform just with me and my guitar. I'm not a fantastic guitar player, but your site has helped me get confidence that I can, perform on my own with just my guitar. I generally just sing loudly to drown out my bad guitar playing.
I know guitarists who do the opposite. They play loudly to drown out their singing.
Yeah. I just sing loudly, and I've actually recently, in the last couple of years, teamed up with a very young guitarist, and he's brilliant, and he compliments me nicely. But it's still nice to be able to play on my own. So I do perform a lot at folk clubs, and I've performed in 4 national arts festivals, and I'm hopefully going to be accepted for my 5th national art festival. So I go down to Grahamstown and I put on a little one woman show, and there I specifically say in the adverts, don't come if you don't like folk music, because there's going to be 3/4 of an hour of folk music, just me and my guitar. So yeah, that's where I am at the moment. It keeps me very busy. It's not my full-time job. I am a computer business analyst during the day, working full-time for a fintech company. So it's a hobby, but hopefully, who knows, maybe it can evolve into a more full-time job in the future.
Wonderful. Well, I think the thing I was most keen to unpack with you today was the intersection maybe of creativity and technology. And you mentioned their Band in a Box, and as you say, you did a guest video for our YouTube channel a couple of years ago, I think.
Yeah,
which is consistently one of the most popular videos on our channel. And
amazing.
it's such an interesting area, because I think the people who know and use Band in a Box absolutely love it, and yet the majority of music learners, I think it's fair to say, don't really know about it.
Yeah.
So I definitely want to talk specifically about Band in a Box, but maybe before we do that, we could go back to some of the early years and the roots of your creativity, because you're clearly a very creative and capable person, and you've been growing into this identity as a musician who is out there performing and is writing songs and is helping others to use technology to write songs, was that always the case? Were you, a teenage kid who was scribbling down song lyrics in lessons and that kind of thing?
Definitely always scribbling down lyrics, and I've still got lots of lyrics in my repertoire of misheard lyrics that are so in me I can't get past it. Anyway, but I don't know. I think I was always a confident singer, but I've never really been a confident guitar player at all. But I always thought that I could do something. I could perform in a pub, or I went. I was in a ski resort for a whole season many, many years ago, and I took my guitar with the idea that I would play in a pub. I mean, there was no ways I was going to be able to do that. I just wasn't at that level. But I think I always had the idea that I could get to that level with a bit of work. And that's where, the Band in a Box came along and just saved me completely, because I'm not a great guitar player. So with Band in a Box, you don't need to be a great guitar player, because they've recorded all these fantastic guitar players who can accompany you. So with Band in a Box, I was able to use my voice and make good recordings without myself having to play my mediocre guitar playing.
I see.
So,
and for me, I got introduced to Band in a Box back when it looked terrible.
yeah.
Like I have these really vivid memories. When I was at university, I was learning blues harmonica with like the one harmonica teacher in Cambridge, and I'd go to his house and we'd have these harmonica lessons. But he had Band in a Box, and it was amazing because he had this old rickety Windows PC, and he'd click around, and suddenly we'd have a 12-bar blues in a whatever key we wanted to work in, and it was just, at the time, it sounded pretty good. These days it has these incredible parts, as you say, that are almost indistinguishable from real music recordings. Whatever you ask it to do.
They are actually real musicians. So what they've
exactly
done
right. It's drawing on the real samples.
Yeah, they've recorded real samples, and the technology actually transposes that into the key that you want, and obviously stretches the audio according to your tempo and things like that. So what year was that when you were first introduced? Can you remember?
I'll show my age now.
No, that's fine.
You need 2002 to 2005, so this was probably 2004. Okay.
Yeah, so they were probably at that stage completely MIDI based. Whereas now I use the majority of them are real tracks, which are real musicians. Yeah, so that now you'll find a completely different experience with Band in a Box.
Absolutely, and even then though it was somewhat magical to me, and it was so useful because I was just learning to play blues harmonica solos, but to be able to just create realistic sounding, to some measure, music tracks on the fly like that was amazing. And it sounds like it was similarly magical for you, and like filling a need that you were otherwise having a bit of a struggle with.
I think for me, I wanted to, for some reason, I wanted to record a CD. I had no idea how to go about doing that, and my guitar playing obviously wasn't good enough to record, and I also didn't really know how to go about getting songs, like getting the licenses for cover songs to record cover songs. So that's when I started writing my own songs, because I figured if I want to write a CD, so if I want to record a CD, then the easiest way is if I write all the songs, then I don't have to worry about the licenses and whatever. So that's what I did, and that's when I found Band in a Box. So it was really so that I could write my own songs and record them without anybody else being involved, and release these CDs. And that's what I started out doing in 2012. And, the quality of some of the work that's coming out with Band in a Box is incredible. People are getting really, really good at it now. You cannot tell the difference. They're so good at mixing it so beautifully and doing the arranging, that you really can't tell the difference.
And so I don't want to turn this into a full-on tutorial, because not least because you've done that for us on our YouTube channel. We can put that in the show notes. But for someone who's never come across this software, and we're saying, it can produce the backing track or it can help you write a song. Can you just describe, like, very roughly what it looks like when you were sitting down and thinking, I want to make a song, I've got this software? What were you doing and what was the software doing?
So if you have got a normal, a chord sheet, like a good old song, let me try and find something here that you printed from the internet with, say, you've got a something out of Ultimate Guitar with just the chords and the lyrics. So the chords are above where they must sound on the lyrics, and that's how you play the guitar. You just open up the program, you change the key of on a drop down. You say, okay, I'm singing it in G, or whatever your favorite key is, or whatever the chords on the piece of paper are. You change the tempo, and then you just type in. You choose a style, and then you type in the chords and you press play, and it'll generate the backing for you. And they, as I say, they are real musicians, and they've gone and recorded all these samples. So it takes the audio sample that they've recorded, and it stretches it and it transposes it so that it fits in with the chords that you just type into the interface.
And so for someone like yourself back then who's thinking, I know I can sing, I've got these lyrics, I'm writing the songs on my guitar, but I'm not really confident in my guitar playing. Exactly. It let you take what you had and produce something that sounded like a real music recording, as it were.
Exactly. And, a lot of the time I've even gone to the extent when I've made a video, I've had the guitar and I'm playing the guitar as if I'm the one playing the guitar on the recording. So yeah, it really is amazing. It'll generate backing for you for whatever style you want. So whatever style of music you like, it'll generate the backing for you. And then you obviously make changes to it. You do arranging, you cut out instruments, you put in other instruments, you generate fills. It's quite endless what you can do.
I'm glad you mentioned that, yeah, because it's not just press a button and this is your option. It's very configurable and adjustable, right? So you can still feel like you are the one composing it, even if it's other kind of synthetic musicians that are playing it for you. Yeah.
Well, it comes, the Windows version comes with a free DAW called Real Band. So once you've generated your basic backing, you open it in Real Band and you can do your normal arrangement. So it puts it in a WAV file, and you can do your normal editing and that you would normally do as if you've recorded the audio live in a studio. So once I've written a song, I've generated a basic backing track. I open it in Real Band and I make changes and I say, oh, that it would be nice if a mandolin played those 8 bars, and then you just generate a mandolin and you put it in those 8 bars, and you do your arranging then so that you make it completely your own.
Fantastic. And
does that make any sense?
I think it does. Yeah, I obviously have a bit of knowledge of the program, but I think even someone who didn't would follow what we're talking about there and the usefulness of it. And it sounds like it was something that let you express your creativity in a new way and to a greater extent than you'd been able to just with you and the guitar.
Completely. I think it did more than that for me. It actually changed my musical life completely. It really did. It changed my musical life.
And so talk a little bit about that. How did your songwriting continue after that first CD you were working on?
Oh, wow. So yeah, the first, it's got a very active community, Band in a Box. So what I did was I went onto the forum and I got inspiration from people who had been busy with the program for years. There's a lot of people on there who know the program inside and out. And I listened to these things and I was like, wow, can't believe what these people are able to do with this tool. It's completely amazing. So after I'd spent a lot of time, that I eventually dived in and bought the product, and then started out just writing. I had written a song, I think, on the guitar. So it was a few songs. I'd been on some songwriting course or something. So I'd written a song, and I just went into Band in a Box and I made a backing track. And I remember it had a violin and some part and some guitars. And then I very, very self-consciously posted it onto this user forum in the Band in a Box community, just to say this is my first song ever, my first recording ever. And the encouragement that I got from the folks there was unbelievable. It really, really was. It just set me on the path. Because what I'd been doing before that is I'd been, because I come from a technology background, I started out as a programmer and I've always been in computers. I had been mucking about with trying to record my voice and my guitar using Mixcraft, I think it was. And I just had a mixer and I just plugged the mixer straight into my laptop, and I'd been making these terrible recordings, So I'd been mucking about with that for quite a while before I discovered Band in a Box. And then when I discovered Band in a Box and I discovered that I could just sing and the rest was all taken care of, I literally, ran down the road crying for joy. I was so happy because I didn't have to muck about with trying to record the guitar and trying to get the guitar to sound nice. And it was just changed my life. So then I started writing regularly. I take part in February album writing month. I don't know if you've heard of that, Christopher. No? It's an internet forum where songwriters from all over the world get together for the month of February, and everybody attempts to write and record 14 songs in the month of February. So it's a very collaborative environment. I'm not going to make it this time because I'm going skiing tomorrow, but I'm up to 9 songs so far in February. And so I take part in that. I write throughout the years. I write for people if they want me to write songs for them. Yeah, so that's where it's taken me, where Band in a Box has literally taken me with my songwriting.
Terrific. And did that just lead naturally to being comfortable performing? Or you mentioned you are getting out and performing now. How did that work?
Definitely. I have always been on the fringe and performing. I've always performed at the folk club, but never really, really been comfortable. I went to my first National Arts Festival 4 years ago, and I went on my own. And at that National Arts Festival, I made backing tracks, and I took backing tracks, and I performed quite a lot of original stuff and a few covers with backing tracks, because I wasn't confident enough to play my guitar, just me and my guitar. And that was okay, but it was a start. And then the next year, I took my guitarist, Lebs, with me. So I had him to back me up on the guitar. And he also sings harmony. But I was singing the main lead vocals. And he was singing harmony and playing guitar. So he came the first year. And then the second year, he also came with me. And then the fourth year, I decided, this is crazy. I can actually do this on my own. I can pull it off. I can play the guitar. I can, I can sing folk music and just keep my guitar playing quite simple. And that's what I did last year. I just went down, and it was my best year, actually. I enjoyed it the most because you are completely free. It's just you. You don't have to worry about anybody else. And I performed 10 to 15 folk songs in the space of 3/4 of an hour. And everybody loved it. So, yeah, it's been a long journey, but I think I am at it now. And at the last National Arts Festival, I said to my daughter, who always comes with me, I said, for the first time, the stage fright has gone, for the first time ever. And since then, the stage fright seems to have gone. So, yeah.
Wonderful.
That's definitely helped.
Were there any tips or techniques that helped you get to that point, or do you think it was just a matter of repeat practice and putting yourself out there? Repeating.
And also knowing, it's nothing's going to happen to you. You're not going to die. You just get up and sing, and you only can put across what you can do. You can't be any better. You can't try and perform like somebody else. And if you forget your lyrics or you forget your chords, it's not the end of the world. People don't mind, they're grateful that somebody's got the guts to get up and perform. So I kind of just forced myself to carry on going to open mics, without my backing tracks, because I think from the singing lessons, I could get up and perform in front of 200 people with a backing track. I was quite fine. There would be no problems with that. But take my backing track away and give me a guitar, and my nerves were just completely shot. And since then, I have been working on it, but I think I'm finally at a level where I've kind of just accepted the type of guitar player that I am and the type of guitar player that I've become, and appreciated it, really, just appreciated the gifts that I've been given and I've been able to do. And I get up and I perform and I just sing, loudly to overcome my bad guitar playing.
Wonderful. And you were sharing with me earlier another performing context at a local music shop that sounded like it was a really great opportunity to kind of get comfortable
Yes.
expressing yourself. Tell us a little bit about that.
Yeah, so it's so interesting. My friend Lebs works at the local Music Connection, so I've become really good friends with him. And they have open mics two nights a month. And then on a Saturday morning, they set up a PA system outside the shop, just on the porch, just right outside the shop. And with a big sign saying, just come and jam. And what's tended to happen over the last few months is that I've tended to be hosting those sessions because the people who work in the shop are busy serving everybody inside. So they can't devote 4 hours to sitting and encouraging people. So I go there, I plug my guitar in, and I just encourage people that are walking in and out to come and jam. And whatever form that takes, if it's a song that they want to sing or play around with the guitar or play the bongo drums or the tambourine or whatever they want to do, just come. And there's nobody really even watching because it's outside the guitar shop. So nobody's really paying attention. And people absolutely love it, Most people say, oh, no, I can't sing or whatever. So I say, oh, well, what songs do you like? And, try and find some common ground between what I can play on the guitar and what they can sing. And they'll come up and they'll sing into the microphone and we'll have a little session there. And then they'll play the mic, play the tambourine. And some people will come along and pick up the bass and start just playing the bass. And it's been absolutely amazing. It's really been amazing because people need to be encouraged. There shouldn't be any snobbery around music. People should be encouraged. For many years, there's absolutely no ways I would play a guitar in a guitar shop. I would just be too embarrassed to pick up a guitar and play. And there's no way, people shouldn't feel like that. They should just pick up a guitar and play. Nobody cares. Just play.
Absolutely. It's funny, people ask fairly often whether we're planning to do like live events at Musical U, like are we going to get out there and do things in person, like workshops or events, or like what's the word, evangelizing, I guess. And the answer is no, like we're firmly focused online for now at least. And I love what you said so much. I think if we were like out there with Musical U ambassadors, they would be doing exactly what you just described. I can't applaud that highly enough because, as you say, that there's no need and no value in the snobbery, and it causes such reticence in people to share the musicality they do have. So I think that's tremendous that you're out there encouraging people to just pick up something and make a musical noise.
Just pick up. And kids, kids will love to come along and just sing something into the microphone. And even if I just play a couple of chords with them and help them, sing or whatever, generally I can look up the chords on my iPad and, just put something together very quickly. It doesn't have to be great, but they love it. They absolutely love it.
Wonderful. Well, we've mentioned several of your projects already, and we'll have links in the show notes. I believe your main website is joannecooper.co.za. Is that right?
That's right. Yes.
And so that's where you'll find Joanne's music, her songs that she's written, as well as the play-along videos. And tell us a little bit actually about your Band in a Box course and book you mentioned briefly earlier. But if someone's listening to this being like, oh, that sounds amazing, that's exactly what I needed, let me go run and buy it now. Tell them about the training you offer there.
The course I made a couple of years ago, I think 2 years ago, it's called First Song with Band in a Box. So it's a video course. It's got 12 or 13 videos, and it takes you step by step through recording your first song with Band in a Box. So whether that's an original song or whether it's a cover song, it doesn't matter. It takes you all the way through from typing in the chords to, generating the backing, arranging your song, tuning the vocals if that's what you want to do, all the way through to releasing it on YouTube or on iTunes and that kind of thing. So I think a lot of people do battle with Band in a Box. They're a little bit overwhelmed because there's a lot in there, and you open this interface and you go, oh, there's so much in here, I don't know what to do. But actually, if you just start out and you just try and make a simple backing track, and then record yourself singing over that simple backing track, you can get up and running within the hour. Leave off the complicated stuff till later. That'll come. Just start recording with what you've got. Don't worry too much if you haven't got an excellent microphone. You just need a USB $100 microphone plugged into a laptop. So it takes people step by step through the process of recording their song using Band in a Box. And then I wrote an ebook a while back, which is just a beginner's guide, just to using Band in a Box to make a backing track. So as I mentioned, there's two products with the Windows Band in a Box. There's Band in a Box itself and then Real Band. So when I'm recording a song from start to finish, I rely heavily on Real Band. But actually, you can do a lot of the functionality just in Band in a Box. So the ebook just focuses just on Band in a Box itself, and then the course is Band in a Box and Real Band.
Terrific. Well, we'll definitely have links to all of those in the show notes for this episode. Before we say goodbye, Joanne, I would be remiss if I didn't ask, since you're so experienced with songwriting, do you have any tips for those in our audience who want to get into songwriting or have been doing it a while? Are there any things you've picked up along the way that have particularly helped with that creative outlet?
Just start and write. Just start, really, just start. Just write a story. Try and make it rhyme or put some sort of cadence to it so that it reads nicely like a lyric, and then just start putting it to music. What I've found is quite an easy way to do is just start with the 1-4-5, the major chords, and just start singing over your chords until you've got a melody, and then start going back and changing the chords and reharmonizing it a little bit so that you can put some variety in. So just even changing the major chord for its relative minor will give it a different feel. But when you're just starting out, just write a story and just put chords to it. Just start. Use the 1-4-5 and just start writing.
Terrific. Great advice. Thank you so much, Joanne, for joining us on the show today. It's been really a pleasure to get to hear a bit more about your musical background and your journey. And I know that listeners and viewers will have picked up a lot from hearing your story. Thank you again.
Thank you so much, Christopher.
Oh, hey, one more thing. If you enjoyed this video, please take a second to like it on YouTube. And if you haven't already, please also subscribe to our channel there. That's going to help make sure you get all our latest videos as soon as they come out. And it also helps us reach more people, which means more episodes, better guests, and everybody wins. So please take a second to like this video and hit subscribe.